Yes, man.
Yeah, Six Nations.
Six Nations. Hansi he's man down with a sick child. So he can't. So we're doing this on a Tuesday.
I know the feeling.
But I'm all work attired out. No beer.
Yeah, I've also got my work attire on.
Oh yes, yeah. Very smart.
No beer either.
Yeah.
Just coffee.
Anyway, so big weekend actually for the Six Nations.
Yeah, separated the boys from the men a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've got one round to go. And France are looking like firm favourites at this stage.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry to say this, but I think they embarrassed the Irish a little bit.
Big time.
But, okay, we'll get into the details just now, but I mentioned it immediately after the game. I said, look, they don't have Andy Farrell at the moment. I think that would make a difference. If we didn't have Rassie, for instance, that would make a massive difference, I think, to the Springboks. So, Farrell's busy with the Lions, etc. So I'm assuming that that's what's going on with the Irish.
Maybe. I think Andy Farrell is a very inspirational coach. He's a great coach. That's obviously why
strategist.
He's picked to coach the Lions. Look, I think France exposed Ireland quite badly. France were way more physical. So the France were dominating the collisions.
But they have been the last couple games, eh? The French.
Definitely. I mean, except for against
England.
England were able to defend and win that game. But, France would have already wrapped up the Six Nations by now if they'd beaten England.
Yeah.
For us neutrals, it's great that they haven't because there's still something to watch for. But they dominated them, specifically in the contact. I would think, like, ball in hand, they were running over the Irish a bit. And then their defence is completely outstanding.
It's excellent.
The French. And they just squeezed them, slow poison them like what the Springboks do. And eventually the dam all broke and they just started. I actually thought they were going to go and score more than what they ended up scoring. And I think those last two tries from Ireland are huge consolation tries. I don't think they count for anything. But then the French
didn't get a bonus point,
the mentality.
I don't think the Irish got a bonus point there. I don't think they did. I think they scored 3 tries. What was the final score for the Irish? I think they got 27.
And I can't
26,
recall.
something like that.
Yeah, that was a bit flattering in the end there for Ireland. Watching the game, I think if I was an Irish fan, I would have... There's some realities in that performance that I think Ireland need to look at. First of all, I don't think Ireland had on the field a player or a group of players capable of magic that could have pulled them out of the fire there. I just don't think they have that game breaker.
Sort of like X Factor sort of thing.
Super X Factor.
Let's think about that. I mean,
no, they don't.
Gibson Park has that like fast game, but
Ireland
he's like this. He's like the starting lineup guy. It's not where he used to like come on and like speed up the game and change the game that way.
Well, I'm talking about like a
penno.
Let's use like a penno, but I'm talking about like in the Springboks. You know that Colby, Arends, Dearlander. You know that these guys are guys that can just break a game open at any point and they can rush in like James a magic Lowe. Try. James, but he wasn't on the field.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I think James Lowe, they missed him big time in that game. I think Hugo Keenan is an outstanding player, and I think he has a bit of that. But he was so good; like he was by far their best backline player. I think this game exposed Prendergast.
I wanted to say, and this, look, and we said he's super young, so he's just going to get better. But he, like for instance against Wales as well, he makes mistakes. He's not the finished product yet.
I don't think he's going to be the finished product. I don't see it in him. Like maybe, and he needs more exposure to this kind of game, I suppose, to like the best of the best, which is the France. And he does play in a brilliant team with Leinster. I think he plays for Leinster.
I think so.
Yeah. So I thought this game really showed that if I was Andy Farrell and I was looking to pick my number 10 for the Lions, that Prendergast would now have fallen out of favour with me.
And it's actually an interesting, discussion because I thought Finn Russell as well this season hasn't really shaped. He's not how he was,
No, I think that your front runners there have to be your British, your English fly halves.
Finn Smith?
Finn Smith and Marcus Smith.
Yeah.
Those are going to be.
Sure,
that would be my front runners.
Because I mean, you still have,
Crowley.
Yeah.
I would have played Crawley because Crawley's more experienced.
Jack.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but maybe they've got their tactics wrong there a little bit. Because I thought when Crawley came on, he actually looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he looks very good in every game he comes on.
I think he's a similar mold to Sexton.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that vibe actually suits the Irish a bit more than like a sort of a flashy, like a Carlos Spencer sort of Prendergast.
Yeah, Prendergast is good. He's got good passing in that. And
But
I think he
yeah.
takes too long on the ball. He takes too much time, and then sometimes he gets it wrong.
I think the
don't know.
passing is a little bit dodgy. I think his timing, like if we think about Sexton, like the timing of his pass was like amazing. You know what I mean? It created the gaps.
Yeah.
It just seems a little bit disjointed with Prendergast.
Yeah, and I think that Ireland would have looked different if they had James Lowe and they had Mac Hansen in their starting lineup. Also, Gary Ringrose didn't play.
That's big. I mean, to
Those
lose
three
both
players are proper.
Yeah.
Like Henshaw is not, to me, doesn't look like a great number 13. And also, I think Henshaw is old stock. I think it's
He's a little bit
time to
past
look
his
at
best.
the next guy.
Yeah.
So I think
I
if
don't
I
know,
were
but
Ireland,
they've
I'd
done
look
that.
at.
They've done that this season. Is they don't seem to start Ringrose.
No, he started.
Did he start all of the games?
I think he started most of them. But Ringrose, what I like about Gary Ringrose is he makes big hits, dude. And he looks like when he gets the ball.
No, Ringrose is the business. He's
Yeah, and Hugo Keenan is great. Like, don't drop that guy. And I actually think he should be the Lions fullback, Keenan, if I'm being honest with you. But
as opposed to like Kinghorn.
Kinghorn is an excellent player.
I don't rate him that highly.
Well,
And if
he's
you
great
think about
to lose, I suppose.
and
Scotland, he hasn't
if
really
you
gelled.
think who's the
Scored a
fullback?
great try this weekend.
Wouldn't be
though.
Freddie Stewart for England or
I think Freddie Stewart's
who's
a
the other
front runner.
fullback? Otherwise Marcus Smith or otherwise
Freddie Stewart, to me, would beat Marcus Smith at fullback.
yeah.
But anyway, who knows? We'll get into another conversation about the Lions. We're getting excited about the Lions squad, which means that like things have progressed here in South Africa. But look, I think Ireland were shown up, and if I was Ireland, I'd be using it as an opportunity to say, to look at things differently and to maybe say, okay, this year is the year we're going to start looking to bring in some young flyers, guys that can really make a big impact in a game like that. Also, a guy who had a bad game or had a very quiet game was Flan de Flair. I think he's having a quieter and quieter game
season.
as things go on a season.
But I still want to come back to it. It just seems like this season the Irish have been off their best. So I think it's the coaching. I think it's the coaching issue. And I think when Andy Farrell... But you don't know. Then there's all this expectation for Andy Farrell to come back. And if, the true test will be the next, November tests, the autumn series. We'll see where Ireland actually is. We're playing them in December, in November.
Are we playing them in November? That'll be nice. But I think they just look stale. It looks like that team that just needs because where they've been potent in the past is as a unit, tactically, like they're a very good team, like team, meaning that like they gel well together, their combinations work well together, and they've got good tactics. So they play better like that. They don't have the DuPonts and those kinds of guys in their team.
Speaking of DuPont, that tackle or that clean out on him looked very much like that. What do they call it? A croc roll, or what do they?
No.
Or the falling on the knee.
Guys are comparing it to the Bongi incident.
Yeah. It looked like it when you watch the replay, the slow mo, etc. It looked like the same thing.
I'm 50-50 about it because I feel.
We'll see if there's a sighting. I don't know.
Who was the guy that cleaned him? It was the lock for Ireland. It was. What's his name? Please forgive me.
Whoever it is, yeah.
He went in. To me, it was a legit clean out, and then he just fell. I think it was just a misfortune. It was an unfortunate incident.
Yeah, but you can't fall to the side. If you lose that clean out, you must like, I don't know, back off. And I realize it's difficult, but I mean,
it's impossible. That DuPont was moving.
It's a red cardable
sideways.
So you've got to,
and he came in cleaned out. DuPont was moving sideways. DuPont's leg actually got stuck on the play on the ground's leg. Got kind of hooked, so he couldn't really move his leg. I just think it was one of those bad incidents. I don't personally think that was a red card. I think the incident with Bongi looked way more deliberate to me. It looked like the player was aiming for his knee.
Yeah, it wasn't like any mitigation.
Yeah, was that against England?
No, it was against the All Blacks in the final.
I'm being silly. It was against the All Blacks. Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I hear what you're saying. He was like sort of moving away. So there's maybe a bit of mitigation that could just lower that.
Yeah, and I think
but it's a shame. I mean, it's a shame. I feel
Tyke Byrne. I think they look at the player as well. Everyone knows Tyke Byrne's that super clean, above board player. I think Ireland have got a problem with McCarthy. I think McCarthy does very stupid things in games that cost Ireland points. He does silly things, and I think that he's a great player, but he does ridiculous things like pulling that player back on attack and throwing him on the what is that?
That's like Bucky's.
It's
like a proper Bucky's.
Yeah, but Bucky's was doing it in an era where they weren't penalising stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, we've focused on Ireland now, but I think the French.
Yes, the French are deadly. Eh?
They sort of didn't bring their best against the English. And I think this is their game of the season. I mean, they played well against, in the autumn series as well, but I'm saying for Six Nations, I think this was their defining game.
When they were on attack.
They made a statement, sort of like last year, Ireland making a statement against the French in Paris. This was a little bit of a revenge, seemed like a bit of a revenge game where they really brought it.
Yeah, I mean, the French Lucies were great. The French backs are gelling. Their defence was outstanding in the first 20 minutes.
There in the beginning, the Irish were really all over them, and they just absorbed that pressure.
Yeah,
that won the game, I think.
Yeah, it got to like the 60th minute, and I actually didn't want to watch anymore because I knew
that's it.
France are just going to run away with this game.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's that game, and Ireland will come back. You've got lots of depth, lots of talent. You might need to freshen up the team a bit, and I think with your frontline players there, like Furlong, because I don't know if. Honestly, if Finley Beelum was my backup number 3, I'd be a bit disappointed. But
he isn't. He hasn't stepped up for me at all. I mean, we saw in the autumn series how he struggled in the scrums against the All Blacks. Beelum
against the Springboks, he can't really. But anyway, Ireland is still there and thereabouts. Still amazing team. They just need to deal with these other things and they'll be alright. But the French are. They're on their way up, and they definitely are forced to be reckoned with. And
2027 looming.
Yeah, even without Dupont, they won that game super comfortably. So that's a cool psychological thing for the French to know that they don't need Dupont to whip like the world's best or second best team.
Like last year when Dupont was playing sevens, then suddenly the French seemed nowhere.
So maybe it's because Intermac came back. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right, next other games.
Yeah, so there was the Wales Scotland game.
I watched a little bit of that. I didn't watch the whole game.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game, high scoring. But yeah.
If I was a Welsh fan, I'd feel a little bit more on the up.
Yeah, the two teams that are sort of in between. Like Welsh, like you say, they can feel happy that they only lost by whatever it was, 7 points or whatever it was, 6 points. But again, Scotland underwhelming. I think, like they had such promise, after last year or the last couple of years, and that loss to England at Twickenham. I don't know. I think they'd be disappointed in terms of what they have and where their progression has been over the last couple of years. Yeah, I feel like Scotland's taken a step back.
Yeah, Scotland has taken, to me. They focus so much on this attacking game, but it's like the Stormers, Stormers aren't even in the top 8 because they beat the Bulls, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is, you need a balanced equation there to become successful. I mean, look at France, brilliant defense, gave them the opportunity to open up their attack. England won; they beat France, basically based on defense. So I think Scotland need to find the balance, and I think they've got a great team. I'm not a huge Finn Russell fan. He's not the kind of fly off that I think is effective. I think he's got talent and all of that. I just think maybe it's the game plan that exposes that. But Wales look good for them, and I was rooting for them a little bit in the Irish game. I thought, wouldn't that be great for Wales to win a game like this?
Yeah.
It was an impossibility, though.
For that interim coach, because he's actually just an interim coach. I forget his name, but he's
They
the
were looking
Welsh
at
coach currently
Franco.
is it's just an interim arrangement.
Maybe it should become a
So-
permanent arrangement.
Well, it looks like they have improved.
Definitely. Even their provincial teams have improved this year in the URC. But yeah, so
Not much to say
Scotland
there.
and Wales
that didn't have much effect. I mean, neither of those teams could.
just, you know which team has really gone backwards is Italy.
Yes,
Italy are
let's
getting
discuss
obliterated,
that. So
like in
Italy
every
got
game.
absolutely smashed by France the previous round,
Yeah.
and like at halftime, I thought maybe they could be an upset here, but England, I think, is actually
On the up as well.
They're starting to shape.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like that. I like that
That was
England are starting to
a
shape.
proper demolition in the second half.
Italy scored a brilliant try, though, from their half. Cut through them.
Yeah, Capuazzo
Capowazzo.
scored a good try,
Yeah.
and
Well, he didn't score the try. The eighth man finished it. But
No, but he also scored a try. There was like a chip and chase, and the ball bounced nicely in the first half for Capuazzo, and he scored. But yeah, exciting guys. But the question is just are they ever gonna take it to the next level?
no, and I think that there was a bit of talk about doing a relegation
To bring through
thing,
Georgia.
to bring in like a Georgia in. Who knows if Georgia will be any better than Italy? I doubt that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, it's not nice to watch like one team always getting super smashed in games. It was nice last year when they were so competitive.
Yeah, I don't want to slate Ireland here, but the two lines were not the score lines weren't that dissimilar in the Irish game and the England-Italy game.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I think
Every team can improve.
every team can improve, but the defining game for Italy was the last round against France, where that is terrible.
That was a massacre. That
Yeah.
was so
At
ugly.
home. I feel so bad for those fans, you know.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so looking at Italy, I don't think they're going to be improving. But yeah, good for England. Can they still make it? Just check
Yes,
the,
of course
check
they
the
can.
log
They're
there.
only a point behind France and they both. So if France
France
if
has
France
to
lose
play,
and England win,
France has to play Scotland.
France are playing Scotland at home, and then England are playing Wales.
Yeah. Okay. So England should have those points.
They should both have those points.
Yeah.
So if England score a bonus point, do they get bonus points in the Six Nations?
I think so.
Why am I?
Yeah. I think
Excuse me. So if England do a very good job of their victory and France do an average job of their victory, then they can end tie. Then it'll go down to technicalities.
I don't see Scotland making I don't see there being a risk of an upset.
Yeah. To me, it's for France to lose at the moment. But it's awesome that England have given themselves a chance, and it's great for the neutral fan to know that there's still a couple of games that could change the thing.
Yeah.
And look, it hasn't been, in my opinion, a hell of a competitive Six Nations. There's not. It was great that England beat France.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah. That was a pretty cool win. It was a nice morale booster for them.
Yeah. If Ireland had beaten France, it would have been quite.
Well, yeah, look, if you think about it, I mean, there were three good teams. So half the teams in the thing were England, France, and Ireland all stood a chance.
Look, I enjoy the Six Nations. I like it. I'm enjoying it more and more every year. But anyway, so let's see what happens next time. Is it next weekend or is there a
I'm
break?
not sure when it is.
Okay. Well, we'll wait to see.
Whenever that is. Cool.
Lekker.
Cheers.